Hello and welcome to Wrestleopinionated. This is our weekly show all about the shows of AEW. We are your hosts. I am Morg and this is...
Book fan Matt Strange, and we have a brand traitor with us. A new addition.
We've got another new boy.
Yeah.
Would you care
Hi. My name's Mo, and apparently I'm an AEW fan now.
After years, another person has finally turned around and gone, you know what, I'm tired of watching this other show without a name, because I don't believe in brand wars. Maybe I'll see what other company where all the wrestlers I know are.
Yeah, I might even watch more than 10 minutes of a snippet on YouTube as well. Who knows?
Fuck, son. Easy now.
Right, so yes, we have a new member to our team. This is Mo. Do you want to give us just a little bit of I'm going to say your wrestling fan credentials? There we go. That's probably a better description.
Yeah, so, I mean, I've been watching wrestling since I was probably like 8 or something, you know, good old...
I was hoping it would be like colourful. 26.
I mean, I'm pretty old. That's still quite a long time. You know, good old colourful WWF days. Sorry, wait, am I allowed to say those 3 letters? I'm not sure.
You can on here. Yeah. We don't give a.
I refer to every WWE champion by like their Ring of Honor or Impact name. You go fucking crazy, mate.
Excellent. Every AEW fan, every other AEW star is now their WWE name to me. Brilliant.
Perfect.
Yeah, so I've been watching for years. I was an ECW nerd when I was in high school, and that obviously made me better than all of the other kids, mainly because I could barely watch
You're
WWE.
the only person who can talk about it.
No, there was one other, but I kind of didn't like him. But, you know, these things happen. And then, yeah, pretty much just been following WWE for the majority of my time, but mainly watching WrestleManias and Royal Rumbles and SummerSlams, the big 4, and then just watching documentaries.
Oh, Dark Side of the Ring, mate. Dark Side of the Ring.
No, don't get me started. I've even got my wife watching that. She loves it.
Sad. So sad.
I still haven't managed to watch one yet.
I
can't
watch the Von Erichs one.
The thing is, I've seen the Von Erichs documentary and I've seen the Roddy Piper documentary. The Dub Z ones are good, but they were harrowing enough. I don't think I need to see the completely unedited
Dark
story.
Side of the Ring, Von Erichs one was sadder than when I read the famous Japanese novel No Longer Human. It's that level of sadness that haunted my soul for that cursed family. Also, weirdly, it keeps panning to the island the surviving one lives on. He's got like some tropical retreat where he smokes cigars and stuff. Fair play. He's a cursed family, can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, it's the only way to survive, mate.
But it keeps panning to like his 3 buff sons like wrestling in their pants, and it just kind of made the entire thing seem a bit trippy and weird.
But you managed to mention wrestling, so welcome to our wrestling podcast.
Wrestling!
So before we start, this might be the first time you've listened or might be the first time you've appeared on our show. Therefore, you need to know that we use a particular ranking system, a tier list, to give our scores for the overall matches of Dynamite and Rampage and Dynamite overall. Mr. Strange, were you born ready to give the tier list?
I'm right, I fucking was. I'm going to explain it to Mo in like a hardcore session. Yo, Mo, do you know what a tier list is?
No, I don't know what a tier list is.
Fuck me, son. Do you like letters?
Always.
We're going to talk about letters. Ascending scale comes from Japanese computer games and the school system. You probably know it from the D's you got all over your ranks and tests at school. We don't go any lower than a D unless we're being facetious. It's a shitty moment, a shitty section, something you don't give a fuck about. D. Sometimes I'll shout F if I'm particularly annoyed with something. From there, we rock up to a C. C is what we want from our average section or average match. It's got to be good. Your eyes on it. It doesn't have to blow your mind. You might not be right homing about it, but you know why the wrestlers are in the ring. You know the story. The promo explains your character. You're happy. E. Next rank up. Match +1. The ring work is just tighter. The promo work is just clearer. You get the characters over. You know why they're there. You watch the match more than any casual wrestling fan would. It's just good. Like Scorpio Sky normally. He's a B+ player. Well, a C+ player, technically. It's the letter B. Hey, awesome, amazing. The kind of thing wrestling fans talk about all the time and send clips off to each other. A-rank matches, phenomenal pieces of storytelling, crisp in the ring with some paradigm-breaking shit you don't normally see. We like the A-rank matches. Top of the tree, some references Mo is not going to get. Mo, watch Lucha Underground so you can appreciate how good Ninjas versus Luchadors is. I will send you that match. Other S-rank matches feature lots of people beating up each other in a football stadium. Undead wizard bikers. Clowns versus Superman. And other fantastic pieces of wrestling media that stick with you through the ages. The kind of things you can send gifts of to people who don't even like wrestling. Wonderful storytelling, wonderful ring work. So D, shit. C, good. B, very good. A, awesome. S, magical. Got that, Mo?
I 100% understand what a tier list is now. Thank you, Matt.
For the first time ever.
Right, moving on. It is time for the news, and we've got a couple of bits this week. Do you want to start off with the sad one, Mr. Strange?
News, Jimmy Rave, famous wrestler from Ring of Honor and the old days of TNA, died yesterday at age 39. I'm not sure what of, I haven't pried too much into it. Sad times. Wrestling world is sad. I obviously didn't know the man, but much love to his family, because we know the people who own AEW listen to this and will pass that on to him.
Yeah.
More interesting news.
Again, yeah, I'm going to say it's sad news because obviously somebody losing their job is never good. But Jeff Hardy has been released by Dub-Z. I can't remember whether we mentioned this last week, that he'd done a bit of a vanishing act in the middle of a match and had apparently appeared not in great form.
Well, Morg. I'm going to fuck you up with this. I'm bringing in 4D chess here.
Okay.
All of the reports from wrestlers and things I've seen in the news, and I cannot confirm any of this is true, but linking into social media, there was a Hardy family Twitch stream last night that I've not had a chance to watch, addressing this with lots of silly little references and comments. Backstage words are that Jeff has not been showing up drunk or wasted or anything, but they've showed up, discovered that wrestlers are no longer getting their individual merch sales, and they're not being paid for house shows, and just walked out. And the backstory is that he's drunk, and that's why he's been released, but it could be 4D chess Jeff Hardy. Obviously, he'll come to AEW and fight Darby Allin, and people from every generation will go crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go. 4D fucking chess, boys.
Do you think it's him pushing the drunk, appearing drunk thing, or is it WWE?
Well, if he's pushed it, it's potentially a contract breach, and he could be in shit. On the other hand, his brother has made incredibly good financial choices with his life and might be able to take care of him. Or WWE can't deal with the fact that essentially
he's fucking off somewhere else and they're trying to burn him.
Exactly. And WWE releases are always in kayfabe anyway as well, because it's a mad world run by an insane genius.
Yeah.
Souls to his mother.
It is interesting. I mean, I'll be honest, as much as it'd be really nice to see Bucks versus Hardy Boys on a big stage, wouldn't it? I mean, I appreciate Ring of Honor's fairly big, but, you know, it wasn't national TV deal big.
I'm just... Mo won't know this. Mo is new to Dynamite. The only sad thing about this, I feel... And, I'm kind of excited to see Jeff. I don't think he's a particularly good promo or anything, but he survives on the impact of the visuals of who he is. Does mean I have to see more fucking Matt Hardy, and I'm so... bored of Matt Hardy.
But you're gonna get a different Matt Hardy. He might even go back to being broken.
Maybe, look, if I've eaten 700 packets of salt and vinegar crisps, my favourite flavour, and I'm getting tired of them, if somebody brings me some delicious roast beef crisps, I'm gonna still be like, oh, still crisps though, isn't it?
Yeah, but is that more... That's more about you than anything else. Don't blame the crisps. Don't take it out on crisps, Matt.
Don't take it out on the crisps. Can I take it out on the man who brought me the crisps? Tony Khan? Tony Khan, Take your fucking crisps back. Have some delicious rice cakes or some shit. I'm willing to negotiate. Right, sorry, I've ranted too much about
if he turns back to Broken Matt and does Broken Matt properly, that's more like getting a packet of prawn crackers.
I'm gonna take this to our new member, our new AEW fan. Are you excited to see a new Hardy Boys run with them in a shared gimmick where they can be as creative as they want?
In all honesty, no.
Yes! Yes!
Yeah, don't get me wrong, right? I love the Hardys, especially back in the day. I did actually even watch bits of them in TNA, and the craziness of the Broken era did actually draw me away from WWE for a bit. But jeez, it's just a bit worn out, in my opinion. They just need to I don't know. Yeah, it's not going to hurt them.
Remember when the Foo Fighters and the Red Hot Chili Peppers were putting out like an album every fucking year for like 15 years, and every album was good? By the end of that like 15 years, we were like, all right, lads, have a year off.
Yeah, just chill out.
Just chill out.
You're not needed in the stadium this year.
Yeah, just have a week off, Matt. You've got a wonderful faction, which you'll learn about, Mo. Right. Sorry, I've hijacked this.
Right.
I'll get on with other social media.
Other social media. So, right, moving on to social media, because we were bleeding in.
Hardy's Twitch channel thing, obviously. We need to watch that. Apparently, it covers a lot of meta jokes, because you can't leave the E without saying some things about Vince. Top things of this week. Danhausen started tweeting about Gun Club, and especially Bolton and Austin, calling them the Ass Boys. So much so that he got Ass Boys trending on Twitter. Obviously, the Gun children are playing into this because it gets them more fame. I think my absolute favourite moment, and the biggest dad moment of the year I've seen, Billy Gunn wore the Ass Boys t-shirt on a Dark Elevation. And that's a pretty fucking dad move right there. I'm proud of him. However, 99% of wrestling Twitter this week has been in celebration of Hook. He was memed to fame before he arrived. I have seen tweets about Hook with actors demanding he be on Riverdale, porn stars saying he's hot.
Hang on. We need to now refer to him by his new name of living anime character Hook.
Living anime. That's in my notes. But the best observation is, you know what came out on December 8th, 1991? That's right. Movie Hook. Came out on December 8th, 2021. That's
20 years later.
The wrestler Hook. 8th of December is officially living anime character, wacky character drawn into life. And I will actually quite fairly comment on his match later. I'm going to say I'm going to fanboy him, but I'm going to be very reasonable because I am an incredibly professional viewer. That's all the social media for this week. It's been pretty exciting. Wrestling Twitch has picked back up. Twitter. He's not even watched all the show.
I like I said, snippets. At least 2 minutes of.
Oh, professional, mate. I love it. All right. I talk a lot anyway. Oh, moment.
Do you know what I've just done? I've just muted myself. Yeah, as I was saying, feel free to jump in whenever you want. Even if you
scream that.
Yeah, if there's something you want to say about a particular wrestler. So, Dynamite starts off Excalibur, Taz, and Schiavone on commentary. And then MJF's music hits, and Punk comes out and cuts a very classic heel promo. Thoughts and scores?
This was actually pretty fun, if I'm honest. Punk coming out to MJF's music was actually it was weird to see a face playing the heel role because the crowd was cheering the heel. It was a good fun shit talking. I loved his 4 Pillars shirt with Brit instead of MJF. Weirdly, cheap popping the crowd, but as a face perspective, I'm not mad at you. I just feel a little bit sorry for you. Could have been shorter, solid, cheap shot mania. Gave it a C. What did you think, Phil fan?
Yeah, it was a C. It was good. It was fun. I do wonder if I'd been watching it with the Raptor this week, whether... Oh, hang on a second. Sorry, I didn't want to sneeze down the microphone. Whether I'd have enjoyed it more with someone to bounce off watching it.
Hype man.
Yeah, but yeah, so yeah, I quite enjoyed it, but yeah, I think it's a C. That was followed then by an MJF promo video. Did you have any thoughts on that video?
Sorry, I've just remembered the MJF video. Did you watch any of the Punk promo, Mo? Did you have a Mo moment?
I didn't have a Mo moment on this particular Punk run, unfortunately. No, that's not part of the bits I did watch.
Mo moment.
Lack of Mo moment.
MJF's promo, his little fucking movie trailer where he walks into Long Island talking about how fucking great he is and he's one of them, was phenomenal. It was 1,000 lols and I gave it an A. It was great. I love it when they do shit like that. And you should watch it, Mo.
I'm 100% gonna play catch up. I promise.
Yeah. I have nothing to add. This was awesome.
Proper shitty heel introducing himself as the main character, and in a town where the crowd decided they were a heel crowd. I'll probably talk more about that through the episode.
Right, so then we had the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royale. MJF is the first entrant, and then eventually it is Dante Martin and MJF, last men remaining, and they'll face each other for the Diamond Ring. Then there is a Ricky Starks. Well, it's a Ricky Starks beatdown on Dante. Then
last bit needs its own review section.
Yeah, so right. Yeah, what did you think of the match up until the point when we had our two remaining people?
Obviously, these aren't my sort of matches for the large part. It's a big clusterfuck, and for the first half of the match is just a clusterfuck. I didn't even see Seidel go out, and he's meant to be like mid-high tier, you know. Yeah, clusterfuck until the names were in the ring. We had a good solid Hobbs and Wardlow beef off, which I liked. I enjoy a couple of big meaty men slapping me. And back to more generic clusterfuck, comedy Ricky rope spot. MJF doing more silliness, like running out to stomp people and then celebrating it because of how much the crowd was cheering him, was golden. He did exactly the right thing for a crowd that had decided he was their guy. The great big elimination of 3 people from MJF and his celebration was pretty great. And the big surprise face at Dante betrayal, now showing that Dante is Captain Traitor. He's betrayed 3 people now. Solid finish for that. I gave it a C. It was alright. A bit clusterfucky. It got some story over. I think if there weren't quite so many comedy moments in it that I actually genuinely was amused by, I'd have given it a D. But it was alright.
Yeah, this suffers from that thing I've always said about this problem with I'm not into battle royals.
And when they're good. The first 70% of this wasn't good.
Yeah, I gave it a C. I thought it was all right. Yeah. Was this something you've watched any of, Mo? Or
I watched snippets, MJF throwing Wardlow out and bits like that, but it wasn't like. Again, snippets. I'm the worst person to talk to right now.
It's all right, don't worry. What do
you
think of Wardlow? Do you appreciate that he is a dime drawer in Giga, Chad?
Right, and I might be massively wrong here because I've only just seen his face briefly. Was he on Tough Enough or something in WWE? Is that where he originally started or something? Because I proper recognise his face.
Right, to the internet. Really... Cover for me for a second.
That's right, I'll go into the next bit. I'm going to describe it to Mo. So after the match, wonderfully, Ricky Starks, who is phenomenal, you'll begin to love everybody in Team Taz, they're great, is beating on Dante Martin for he has betrayed Team Taz. MJF walking up to the ramp, looking back over his shoulder like, oh, fuck, should I help this man? Oh, no, should I? Oh, it's awkward. Runs back to the ring. Him and Ricky look each other in the face. It looks like there's going to be a kickoff. And then they both just jump on Martin and start kicking the shit out of him. It was phenomenal and an A-rank after such a mediocre match. In fact, overall, MJF was the saviour of that match. He relied on comedy, realising the crowd was going to cheer him no matter how much of a wanker he was. Have you ever been friends with a bully?
You say friends, acknowledge. That's close enough, right?
Yeah, like, there are some people who are bullies who you hate, who make the world just worse. There are bad bullies, and there are people who are just twats who sometimes you can get along with. Like the Bully and Skull situation from Power Rangers in the 90s. Sometimes they can be funny when you're cheering them, and that's exactly what he did in this. He used that crowd correctly.
Legit.
Back at Morg?
Yes, Wardlow was not on Tough Enough.
Oh,
I didn't think he was.
No.
Just drawn to his manly
I'll tell you what it is, Mo. It's because he looks like Triss.
Yeah, could be that.
I am
like
determined
Triss,
he looks
but
like
he's not
Triss.
that kick-ass
No, he's
actor.
not that, but I just think he looks like Triss. I think it's just because they both have similar hair, because Triss has cut his hair and it's different
Yeah.
now. So anyway, moving on. What did you give that beatdown at the end? Did you want to give it an
Hey,
extra?
it
Yeah,
was
I thought it was
phenomenal.
brilliant. It
Like,
was so
here's
good.
my pants.
Right, following on from that, Varsity Blondes and Jurassic Express with Christian and Julia Hart versus the Acclaimed and 2.0 with Daniel Garcia. What do you think? Jungle Boy wins with the snare trap. What did you think of the match and what score did you give it?
I have to take a second to establish this match because I've written down Dino Faces versus Comedy Heels. Majority of this match, well, it begins with the two best wrestlers in the match, Jungle Boy and Bowens. They are by far the two best wrestlers in that ring. And then Jungle Boy defeats everyone on the Comedy Heels team with relative ease. Then the Blondes keep control. Some shenanigans, the Heels get control for a bit, and Pillman ate shit for quite a long while. It was all very okay. And Dinosaur, Luchasaurus Mo, just so you know. Gets the hot tag, destroys everyone. Didn't do his usual sequence, so that was nice. I get quite critical of that. Into a rotating clusterfuck. Eddie interferes with the Garcia interference, and there's some other interference. And then it ended. Not my clusterfuck, but technically fine. I knew why they were there, and the wrestling was clean. See? Of mercy.
Yeah, I gave it a C. It was a tag team match. It suffered
Not
from
the
the same
best
thing.
week to start, Mo. Not the best week to start.
Yeah, it was another one of those ones where it was a tag team match, but it was just a tag team match. It was technically very good. It was a C. It wasn't terrible.
8 men is too many.
Yeah. Right, moving on from there. So, yeah. So then...
Get a camera with no sound for a bit. Don't forget
Yeah,
that bit.
so Kingston comes out, then Kingston and Ortiz are backstage with Kingston shouting at a camera with no sound. They're then jumped by 2.0 and Garcia, and there's a big fight. Did you have any thoughts on this?
Dubsy dub energy. I like Team 2.0 in the same way that I like the Acclaim. Just set them out, let them be shitty heels, and they can get beaten up. Wonderful stuff.
Right, so I've just remembered a really important piece of AEW news. Apparently
What?
Jericho, which I haven't read the thing on because I didn't want the spoiler for Dynamite in case it was on Dynamite, but apparently Jericho might be in hospital, so I am wondering whether this has been set up to keep the Jericho, because I think it was supposed to be Jericho and Kingston team up to take on 2.0. I now think it's going to be Kingston and
Ortiz.
Proud and Powerful against 2.0 and Daniel Garcia.
Yeah, could be. There's been photos of lots of the old LAX people hanging out together, so... And there was a picture of Taya Valkyrie with the Lucha Bros, but I wasn't going to comment on that. I'm saving.
Yeah, let's wait and see what happens there. Yeah, then they had FTR and Tully promo. Any thoughts?
Remember when FTR were in a faction called the Pinnacle?
Yeah.
Remember them? Bald is the better promo. See.
Yeah.
God, this week. Mo, maybe start next week. Don't watch this.
Right.
I won't catch up then. We'll start fresh.
Watch the MJF thing, and Right, Young Bucks with Adam Cole and Brandon Cutler versus Chuck Taylor and Rocky Romero with Orange Cassidy. Bucks win with the Meltzer driver. Let's do the match. We'll discuss what happens afterwards.
Oh, God. Right, okay. You know how normally we have to rank down any best friends matches I watch because of how much I love them? I think we'll have to this time. Yeah, nice wrist control start from Nick and Rocky. They pair off, and it felt like it was going to be an NJPW paced match at the start. Chuck did the fastest off the bounce off the ropes roll up thing I've ever seen. That was really cool. I like it when Chuck gets to shine. I'm a big Chucky T fan, and I feel he doesn't get a lot of effort. We got a back rake from Matt Jackson. If you don't like back rakes, you've got no soul. Crowd cheered. Long Island is just heel turf, and that showed in this match again. Heels beat down Rocky for a while, and a Chuck hot tag. He does a con hero, which is better than a tope. We get the silly Adam Cole kiss spot. Rocky and Chuck down for quite a while. Before Chuck stands up, only to be beaten down again, and then for all of picture-in-picture. And he gets a hot tag. Rocky does a double Rana, which I hate and complain about every time. And we got some moves for a bit. That was nice. A wrestling match broke out for a little while. Then some Brandon silliness. And then the Bucks won. Can't say I really thought this was a good match. I think there were clean and good things in it. I think it was a bit too spot heavy for me, and it required that Team Chaos lay down for like 5 minutes at one point. See? Oh, go on, win me back. You're a Buck Spot Fest fan. You like Adam Cole.
Yeah, it was a Buck Spot Fest. I gave it a B.
Oh, disgusting.
I am starting to wonder whether I need to start downgrading these.
You're getting that way. Mo, do you like Adam Cole?
May, of course. I think there's been a huge level of hype that has gone necessarily above what he has done. But I'm interested to see what he does here, though. This is the thing. You know, when I've watched previously, I'm not like a massive diehard fan. I'm not going to lie.
Because I have this weird thing that I never watched NXT. So people are like, yeah, Adam fucking Cole. And he shows up. I'm like, he's like an average wrestler, but smaller. Why is he not
I think he's above average. Don't get me wrong. He's bloody good, but
he's clean in the ring. He doesn't do anything amazing for me, and his finish is fucking awful. Promo game good, and he's hilarious on BTE. But I don't see anything other than a skinnier Buck, if I'm honest with you. Sorry, Morg.
Fair assessment. That is fair.
It is fair.
Stop to rip on Adam Cole. He seems lovely. He's hilarious. His promo game and his real world personality seems great.
Oh, he is.
His ring work is clean. Don't get me wrong. He's good in the ring, other than his finisher, which is terrible.
He's a brilliant, and that's not. I wish they'd stop trying to make that his finisher, because that's not his finisher. The boom is his finisher, or formerly the last shot, and it's the running knee, and it's much more vicious. The Panama Sunrise is just. It's one of his signatures. It shouldn't be his finisher. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, right.
So then we had a beatdown on the Best Friends by the Super Click, and I predicted it the second that the beatdown happened. As soon as the beatdown happened, I'm like, Sue's car. I wonder if there's room for a car to pull up here. And Sue's car pulls up, and Trent's mum drops him off, and Trent returns. And I gave that an A because I had missed Trent.
Gotta give the people what they want. I love Trent. It is weird that he shaved his head, but he comments on that. More on that later. His run-in took a little while. I was like, they beat him for a while, and they gave him a Panama Sunrise. But every time Sue's in the ring, it's an A. And I love Trent. And he speared a man outside the ring, not in the ring. Trent never spears people in the ring, only on the outside. Yeah, great moment. I'm glad the Best Friends are back.
That's new to this, right? What's with the mum? Is this like Buff Bagwell all over again?
They had a match ages ago, and there was a run-in. I think it was a run-in from Trent. No, they showed up to this big title match, Chucky and Trent, who are phenomenal indie guys, but very meta, very dry. And they got dropped off at the big title match in their mum's car, basically. And she's shown up to drop people off and save them and been in things. And it's literally just Trent's mum, just like an old lady who just occasionally gets dragged into the ring by her massive son.
Yeah,
It's wonderful.
It's not like the Judy Bagwell thing.
On
It is just
on a
it is.
train match or whatever it was.
Yeah. No, it's just that everybody loves Sue, and Sue's just she's fucking. If you can find it, so she joined the Dark Order. She is a member of the Dark Order back when they were heels. And there is a brilliant one of when the Dark Order do their skits on BTE. They were always trying to corpse Brody Lee, and they could never do it. Didn't matter what they did, they couldn't corpse him. Sue corpsed him.
Amazing.
He gave her some papers to throw in Silva's face, and she just fucking fluffed the throw, and it just bounced off the floor, basically.
And you what? Yeah, Brody Lee just brilliant. Picks it up and goes, no, try again. But yeah,
the fucker doesn't like your food. Great.
Totally. No, they don't swear. They didn't swear in front of Sue, did they?
He did.
Did he?
Brody did, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's Brody, isn't it? Right. Moving on, Ruby Soho promo, which is interrupted by Bunny and Penelope Ford, beat down on Ruby, and then, as I predicted, Ty and Anna for the save. Any thoughts?
Girls beat down. Ruby's got a very good cartoon face. Solid. See, I'd comment further on it. I'm still getting mad that she's continued through the tournament.
Right, here we go. Sammy Guevara promo. Cody comes out.
Oh, the Codyverse!
Yeah, Cody comes out to tell him that he is challenging the, and then we had an Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky in the crowd promo. Do you want to break this down into two sections? What did you think of the Cody bit?
I'll ignore the latter bit because it was passable, but nothing special.
Okay,
that's crossed out the notes. Having been complaining about the Cody and the Codyverse for probably about a year now. And wondering whether Cody is 4 IQ or playing 4D chess. He walks out, I looked at his burns and I was like, oh, that's brutal. And I was like, how's this going to go? And then he walked towards the heel door, caught himself, and walked out the face door doing the Vince McMahon ear pull. Wonderful. If he's just going to turn into the weird BTE comedy shitlord Cody real life person that I actually like, this could be the best promo of the moment of the month.
Yeah, can I just say I said this was what he was doing.
I don't know if he was all the way along. I watched part of his reality TV show.
Yeah, well, you know, it was a reality TV show. So yeah, then we have a Jade and Thunder promo. Any thoughts?
The intro, fine. It's the standard video package they do.
Then we had Jamie Hayter with Britt and Rebel.
Stardom Goddess Lioness.
Versus Rio.
Last.
Rio wins. Britt and Rebel jump Rio at the end. There was no save. So what did you think of the match, and what score did you give it?
My opening comment after the last two matches was, Is this a wrestling match? And it was! Hooray! I will say the crowd fucking murdered this match with their silence. It was a lot better than they gave it fucking any form of respect for. Pretty good strength versus speed match. A couple of criticisms. There was a terrible crossbody, but fortunately Hayter countered it pretty brutally. And otherwise it was paced and solid. Back and forth, everybody looked good. Strength versus speed, I said. Hayter just beat Rio for all the picture-in-picture, but it's the standard heel heat spot that I compliment if they don't do, but they didn't. The Rana counter into the backbreaker has been fucking gift so much. It's all over the internet because of how brutal it was. Brutal shit through Hayter, and I think she got a couple of Stardom receipts from Rio in it as well. It was a proper welcome to Stardom bitch match, and I loved it. Code Red didn't go well, but the Avalanche Crucifix Bomb was fucking brutal. I only gave it a C despite the hype in my voice because there were a few faults, not necessarily the biggest amount of story about it, and to be honest, it was just an average Stardom match. Jamie Hayter from Stardom, Rio, more ice ribbon, but has been to Stardom. They went Japan on each other. It's what I should expect from an average Joshi-trained wrestling match for women. I enjoyed this match. It gets a good C. I'm not scribbling it in like, C, I suppose. This was solid. We should have more of this as our women's standard. Boom.
High C from me. Mainly for that backbreaker.
Fucking God, I love her. I love her so much. We just put a belt on her. Just put a... Mo, do you know who Jamie Hayter is?
Again, only from snippets, because this is actually, that backbreaker is literally one of the only things I've seen, other than where I thought Rio might die from a top rope crossbody and nearly hit the outside face first,
Yes,
but was caught about a millimetre from the end.
As a British man, you can look up the full history of Jamie Hayter and enjoy watching her going from purple and redhead street rock pub chick to the current lioness she is. She has always been a meaty, beefy punching machine. She has always been a wonderful goddess of wrestling, and you should look her up and appreciate how wonderful she is. I love Jamie Hayter.
I can tell.
Wait till we talk about Kagetsu, mate. She's not in AEW, though. She's retired to the mountains to be a lesbian in Japan. The most successful Japanese lesbian build. Very homophobic in Japan. I'm not, it's not a good place to live if you're in the gay community.
Moving on, Serena Deeb and Shida promo.
We'll see what happens. It was all right.
Yeah. Then we had the Varsity Blondes having an interview. Lights go out. Malachi appears, sprays mist into Julia Hart's eyes. Any thoughts?
Pac?
I don't know.
I mean,
maybe Pac was injured and needed some time off.
He has been blinded apparently in the last story. Julia's got a good horror movie. Last Woman Scream, Last Girl Scream on her. Don't really care.
This will be good. This will be good if Julia suddenly metamorphoses into sort of goth cheerleader, Malachi Black, sort of supernatural silliness.
Just a fetish thing, Morg.
No, it's just supernatural silliness. Just supernatural silliness. But we know that Tony doesn't like supernatural silliness.
I just think they're trying to push Brian Pillman Jr. He's just not as over as his name is. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I like him. He's nice enough, but he's not. He's not flying.
He's going to get eaten by Malachi.
I hope so.
Then we had Bryan Danielson versus John Silva. Bryan wins with a gotch pile driver. Thoughts and scores on the match.
I expected, and this was good. It was good. It's got a wrestling start, nice and even fight, but paced and slow. Bryan in control for most of it, which we expect. Several good kickoffs because they're both known for their great kicks. Silva's moment of great explosivity. He gets it a bunch. He does his little run around his arms go. I've absolutely no idea what that note says. Pestled? Not a clue. Yeah, it was alright. It was good. See, I've seen so many really good Danielson matches now. These solid ones are good. I'd like to say more, but I don't think there's more to say.
I gave it a high C. Pretty much the same. Yeah. It's
very okay week.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
You are selling the AEW to me, guys.
Mate. I was like, Mo's coming. Yeah, somebody. Oh no, it's not a good week. Is it?
Yeah. Next week should be Winter is Coming, so should be much better because it's like one of their preview pay-per-views.
Right. I really hope that I'm not the start of their downfall by just me joining this podcast.
Going Hogan TNA.
No, we have had a couple of weeks now where we have gone Dynamite has been, and through the power of Lettermath, Strange, let's see what you gave it.
Oh, he did a pun! As accurate as any Meltzer Star system, the power of Lettermath, where I combine these few letters. We've got a couple of A's here for promo work. We've got a little B that we were quite confident with, AB. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, blah, 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 a fucking bank of C's. It was a very okay show. It was good.
Yeah.
But the problem is, the only real highlight of the show, the only time where we've really had any excitement commenting on this, is MJF's comedy heel spots at the start of the show. They opened, sure, the wrestling was a clusterfuck, but they opened with some solid entertainment. Some solid laughs, some big media pieces that really drew us in. Other than Trent showing up later, the rest of it was just like, all right, it's a wrestling show, which I know is what we're watching. As is often said, the wrestling itself is the worst part of wrestling. What we're here for is essentially an over-dramatized sitcom for man-children. It's a soap opera with fighting, and there was just distinct lack of soap opera or particularly outstanding matches. It was good, but when it's all so good, you kind of want a bit more icing on that cake, shall we say?
Yeah, I mean, I do have to say, just add to Mo, you know, we do sound a little down when we say things C, but C is still good.
Yeah, but there was a lot of C in this one as opposed
Yeah.
to C.
Yeah. Right. It's over to you, Mr. Strange. It's time for...
There's no witty, different name that we've always said this time. It's time for a fucking Hook Day celebration. And in fact, the only show that Mo has watched, from what I understand. So this will be good for you, Mo. You can have a lot of Mo moments.
I can actually get involved. Yay!
I will comment that my reviews of this are a little mixed. I have watched one of these matches twice. I watched one of them on Friday night. Guess which? And I rewatched it all this morning. Was a little distracted for the first two matches, so I might need you boys to save me on the old reviews. But Rampage. What was that, Mo?
I didn't say a thing. That wasn't me.
Sorry, there's random sound coming from your mic. Never mind. You're haunted. Right. Taz and Excalibur on commentary. We open up with the Lucha Brothers versus FTR. The Lucha Brothers won with something. I missed it. No intros for anyone, which is a great way to start your show. And my first comment is, oh, look, it's this match again. You might not know Mo, but FTR have been in a rotating feud alongside Andrade and Malachi Black with all of Death Triangle, which is a faction containing both of the Lucha Bros and Pac, who you may know as Neville from 205 Live.
Yeah.
Or King of the Dwarves Pac, as he is now sculpted from stone and looks like he murders people for fun.
He looks more like a goblin, though.
A dwarven kid? No, he doesn't. He's got a big beard. Just because he's got big ears doesn't mean he looks like a goblin. How dare you? Ortiz is the goblin.
I'm ear racist.
Ear racist. Match opens with Phoenix fighting everyone and doing Phoenix things. Phoenix is phenomenal. Probably one of who I would rate as one of the top 3 wrestlers in the world. He runs the ropes. He rolls about. He bounces things. And Penta gets in and beats everyone for a while as well. Sure, FTR used to be higher tier than they are in this match. Penta does a Made in Japan, which is one of my favourite moves. It's also Shingo Tagaki's finisher. He's the IGWP heavyweight champion in NWPW. There's a Tully spot, and it was all pretty good. I gave it a C. Oh, what did you think of the Lucha Bros versus FTR?
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty cool match. I mean, I don't make notes like you know, so it's going to come out just as my brain. So one thing I was quite surprised about, considering how hyped FTR were, it didn't feel like they did a huge amount in the actual match. Yeah, I mean, they were solid. Don't get me wrong, but it felt just a bit. It was Lucha Bros all the way. The whole way through, everything was revolving around what they are doing to FTR rather than the other way around. Obviously, anything with Tully Blanchard, as an old school guy, I kind of love that immensely.
Hey, I've seen him do vertical suplexes and stuff in this year. They gave him a match. He's not bad.
Okay,
he's in a trios match. He's not bad. Don't get me wrong. He's a very old man, but he did some moves. He took some moves, and he's actually in very good shape for a man of 700 or whatever.
Whatever he is, yeah. So I was quite surprised. I think I messaged you guys just going, does Phoenix budge much? Because there was a couple of things right at the beginning of the match where there was he went for a toe hold, and it was just What I can't remember who it was he was in the ring with, but the guy from FTR just like looked down like, come on, man, like more effort than that.
A team that's fought each other about a dozen to 2 dozen times, they don't have an awful lot of chemistry.
Even the announcers were saying how often they fought, and I thought, well, you don't want to be overhyping that, surely. Here's a match that you have seen 1,000 times before, guys. That felt a little strange to me on an outside perspective.
What do you think, Morg? Give us the middle opinion. Well, give us the alternative opinion. It's not really middle. Me and Morg are on the same page.
Yeah. I gave it a B. I quite enjoyed it. There was lots of stuff going on. There was lots of high-flying stuff. I like the Lucha Brothers. Again, it comes down to OTT, AEW. This felt like an AEW tag team match to me, and I think it got upgraded by me due to the fact that the earlier match in Dynamite that I watched just previously was just a tag team match and felt like just a tag team match, if that makes sense. So I think that hyped this one up. I quite enjoyed this. Going back to that, also does state that the Bucks match maybe wasn't as good as I thought it was, because it didn't stick in my memory.
I win.
It didn't stick in my memory. So I gave it a B, but I quite enjoyed it.
Good.
So, moving on. Oh, it's over. It's not my problem. It's yours.
Fucking get out of my fucking way. How dare you? This is my time in control. We have the women's 6-person tag. Nyla wins with the Beast Bomb. No entrance for the heels. Pretty solid rotating clusterfuck. I didn't really care about this match. Like, I was like, just give us the Trios League. I mean, we've only just got our second women's belt, so we're not going to get a Trios League, but they do seem to love their Trios rules. This is the match that I was mostly distracted through, so my only 2 real notes are Ruby did most of the carrying in this match, and a solid enough clusterfuck. Mo, give me a better description of this match from the new eyes.
I mean, I was actually a little bit hyped, obviously seeing Ruby Soho, Ruby Riot, whatever. I was really, really massive going into this game. I'm really interested to see what they do with her, because I'd listened to a podcast with Renee Young and her, and I was like, actually, if there's one story I'm likely to get behind on Rampage, it's going to be this. And they had managed to put all of the adverts during the bits that Ruby Soho was actually in the match with. Oh my God, my brain's just gone now. Who's her opponent?
Hello.
Thank
Hello?
you. Yeah. And it was like, oh well, so the whole story they were building up to during that match, they just wiped over. Everything I watched was actually pretty good. Like you say, Ruby Riot was Soho, whatever.
Whatever the fuck, bro.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter.
What was spot on and did hold the faces together. That they made it. She made the sort of the glue that made them not look terrible. But it was a pump kick central match. I think there was 5 pump kicks in the space of about a minute. I was just like, oh, there's another pump kick. And there's
if you don't
one.
like kicks, you best not watch AEW.
But it was the same kick from every single one of them did it. But I mean, I thought it was actually a pretty solid match. The bits I could watch that weren't adverts.
Yeah, no, it was good. What do you think, Morg? You like the Whammins?
So I watched this on. So the version of this I watched didn't have adverts in it. It had proper picture. It had the Fight TV picture-in-picture, where they don't go to picture-in-picture, so I got to watch the whole thing. I gave it a high C. I enjoyed this. It was the team I wanted to see, Ruby, Ty, and Anna, because I actually think that's a sensible mini-faction for Ruby.
No, she has to go with Pac, and they can listen to ska and punk music together.
Well, yes, there is that, but they haven't got the other missing member of that trio yet.
Yeah, true.
You need to wait. Just, not long, but you need to wait.
El Generico!
I enjoyed it. A high C, but it's still a C.
I'm going to go aside now for a side Mo moment. Mo?
Well,
got a bit of an Adam... we got an Adam Cole thing here. So I like Ruby. She, for me, was just another WWE person showing up. Obviously, I like her. She comes out to fucking rancid and wears checkerboards and shit. Obviously, I like her. She, in her last round of this women's tournament, defeated Chris Statlander to go on, obviously, to this title thing. Chris Statlander, who has been was out for several months, but she is pretty much a big homegrown women's wrestler in AEW. She carried the division on her back for a while. I think as an AEW fan, am annoyed that the new person has gone over the more established star in AEW. How much is the story of Ruby enticing to you as the lured-in, baited person? You said you were quite excited for this.
I was quite excited, mainly because it was not all about Ruby, really, in all honesty. It was about, I actually get to see from the beginning, or near enough the beginning, I know she's been there for a little while, like how AEW treat incoming stars from the things I like. So it's not necessarily about her. I mean, she was pretty solid in WWE.
I hate the fact I have to like her, but she's actually pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I mean, she's spot on. I actually, I know some people slagged a lot of her promos off when she got to do them. I actually really enjoyed them. I think she's pretty solid. However, obviously, I didn't watch the tournament or anything like that. Why would you destroy the talent you've created for something new? You could put two things over at the same time, and the new star, if they've already established in another company, surely don't need that rub so much.
Cheers. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I like her, and she's not winning this tournament. It's going to Rosa. I was just bugged me. Maybe Statlander will get the big belt. Right, I should carry on, shouldn't I? To the most important part of the show. That's right.
What, the Sting and Darby promo?
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, Sting and his son did a promo, and FTR attacked them. They seemed very energetic, even though they just lost a match. Then Tully kicked Sting in the nuts and said, "One more time." Want to watch OAP fight again, kids?
I believe the chant is Grandpa fight.
Grandpa fight. Any comments? Anybody particularly excited for FTR versus Darby and a friend?
It's going to be fun.
Darby a friend.
It's going to be fun.
Sting. We'll see who comes out to debut from WWE or TNA this week on Wednesday for that match, I assume.
Yeah.
Right.
Does he collect all of the debuts? Is that basically all of Darby Allin's friends of new debuts?
No, I think it's just the fact that we don't expect Sting to wrestle this one. I thought it'd be Sting.
Tony Khan said Winter is Coming will be just as exciting as last year's Winter is Coming. And last year's Winter is Coming, they brought fucking Sting out. So that's right. Don't think Hogan's allowed anywhere after he said the N-word on recording.
Yeah, Hogan is not welcome in AEW.
In most bloody places, he's not welcome.
Doesn't work for me, brother. Let's get on to the most important part of the night. Hook versus Fuego. Hook wins with the Red Rum, a renamed transmission that I misheard the first time and thought he said he called it Bread Rolls. It's a fantastic name for a finisher, and that's what it should be called, if I'm honest. If I ever become a wrestler, my finisher is going to be called Bread Rolls. Anyway, a completely unbiased review of this match. Ruth stopped what she was doing to watch this. No entrance for Fuego, always a cursed start. Get grappling! Hooray! I always cheer a collar and elbow. And it's a really good showing for the anime character. And he's got good punches. I can't say it's just a squash match because he does take control for all of it. It's a long squash match. It didn't feel like when somebody just comes out, powerbombs somebody 37 times and wins. Get varied suplexes, showing he is his father's son. I would say this was a very good, solid showing for Hook. He got his character over. Technically, if I was just reviewing this as a match, I'd give it a C, but I would say this was a match +1 as a debut. He showed himself as coming across as cool, in control, powerful, and he won, obviously. So, C, but a B with a story and the good showing for the overly memed character that is anime character Hook. What do you boys think?
Mo, you can go first.
All right. I was fairly impressed because he's a young lad. Obviously, he looks super young, right? And
20.
Sorry.
22.
So very young then. Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty solid. I mean, Fuego made him look like $1 million.
Didn't he?
Really
Bless him.
did. Holy hell, the height that he got on. Well, I mean, I'd call him a hip toss, but they were calling him something else that I presume was an actual jiu-jitsu name for him or something. But he can flip someone. He made Ronda Rousey look rubbish. I'll tell you that for free. But
Wait till you see Layla Hirsch.
oh really?
Oh yeah.
Sorry, carry on. I went over you.
That's all right. So yeah, I was quite impressed. It's a good way to introduce a new young lad. Like it helps that your dad's also on commentary, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I would have, if we're putting it into your tier levels that I've only just learned what tier level is, I'd be giving it a well solid C. You'd be happy with that if that was your way into wrestling.
I can explain. I'll give you a little bit of history to Hook. Hook has been showing up in several background sketches for Team Taz for a while. In one, there was a big promo from somebody else, and he just went in front of the screen, drew his thumb across his throat, went. That got him over. Then, CM Punk, feuding with Team Taz, was like, send Hobbs, send Starks, send Hook. And from that point, signs started arriving in the crowd saying things like, Punk fears Hook. There's been a sign at a WWE showing which says, Vince fears Hook. He was overly memed for about 3 months before this match. And I get the feeling they were going to give him his debut. And then got so memed that they went, we'd best send him off for 3 months intense training. So he's not just fucking good. He's great. We've caught the end of the memeness. It's definitely worth a search. But now I've got to get applause from the other host of the show. Morg, what did you think of Hook's debut?
Right, so I have it written down here. This is my exact thoughts on this match. My scores were, it was C as a match and B as a debut that didn't feel like a squash.
Hey, we've got exactly the same review.
So yeah, what I really enjoyed was Hook came across like the son of his dad's old ECW character, the shoot fighter. His moves in the ring, he felt. Do you know what? He felt more UFC than Jake Hager as a character, and I don't. That's no disrespect, because Jake is, when he's doing his wrestling, he mainly does he does wrestling. Hook looked like it was a fight. I loved all the different types of takedowns. I really enjoyed this match, and I'm really glad he's lived up to the hype.
Me too, mate. If he'd have been shit, I'd have been so upset.
Yeah.
I've been so mad. Also, his hair didn't move for the entire fight, and that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and he does look like an anime character.
He is an anime character. I want to know what Taz's wife looks like for that to have come out of him. Like, I like Taz. There is a reason on Botchamania they use a scene of Oompa Loompas coming out to represent him.
Right.
I'll get on with it. Mark Henry interviews the best friends in the Super Clique. Super Clique do a bunch of good shit talking. They're always solid. Trent does his Trent meta thing of I shave my head. Why aren't we talking about me? I laughed. I've missed Trent. I enjoy the best friends joking about being wrestlers. Yeah, it was solid. Into the main event. Boo, boo, boo. Wheeler Yuta versus Adam Cole. Adam Cole wins with the boom. You get a grappling and fighty start. Yuta's got some good tricks to build moves, like his fake kick to the dick and trick around that. Slams, strikes, etc. Cole gets the heel control, but doesn't actually slow it down too much. I didn't do that thing where I roll my eyes and like, oh, I'll make a coffee, the heel's in control. Brief section showing Cole staring at Orange Cassidy, which I don't think they need, because it just made me realise this is a match Cole was going to win and the real feud is about him and Cassidy. Yuta countered the Panama Sunrise. +1 to that. A little fucking round of applause. And he got a solid showing. He did a beautiful German suplex with bridge. Just like, whoop, like a little arch. Lovely, smooth, solid match, to be fair. Then, obviously, knees up to a crossbody. The boom hits, it's over. Tight, clean. Gave it a high C. I think with a little bit more story and without the Orange Cassidy thing, this could well have been a B-rank match. Time, right? This is what I should expect from average good wrestling, and this is even after I shit talked Adam Cole earlier. So, what did you think of the main event?
Yeah, I mean, it was enjoyable, pretty sort of like you said, smooth as anything. Obviously, I know Adam Cole. We've already talked about that, but it was new to me. I kind of liked. What is up with this company?
MJF's 25. I'll do this with all of them for you. It's like children, mate.
It's bloody scary, is what it is, but also good because it shows that they're willing to get the young stars up, and you give them a few years and they're going to be absolutely phenomenal with this sort of.
Come for the ex-WWE wrestler, stay for the young AEW wrestler.
Yeah, fair. But yeah, I enjoyed it. There was a few nice little sort of things in there where you had been kicked in the face a few times by Cole. He threw Cole into the corner. It looked like Cole was going to boot him in the face again, so he put his hands up to block his face. So Cole kicked him in the knee. I kind of like that little bit of psychology. It's not, it's storytelling in the ring. It's nice. You don't always get to see that in WWE very often. Ending was, the whole match was obviously, like you said, just very much expected where it was going to go. I kind of didn't expect the heels to win the beatdown, as silly as that sounds. I don't know why that is.
No, that was a bit weird. I wrote that down. Yeah, to my after notes. Yeah, that was a bit of a strange one. Went on a little while. Trent, who's just come back, runs in and just eats shit as well. I was like,
I think it's nice. I do think it was a nice ending where they did the triple knees to the neck. No idea what that's actually called.
Trigger.
Thank you. I kind of like that. The story with him having his neck surgery and stuff. That could be quite a cool thing later on down the line. I enjoyed it.
Cora Peck as well. One of his nipples fell about 4 inches. But I'm glad you enjoyed the match. Little facts about wrestlers with Matt Strange. Morg, what did you think of the main event?
I think I just dropped my phone on the floor.
Fucking great at this.
When I say dropped, it just sort of leapt off the side as I was unmuting myself. This was a good match. I really enjoyed this. I did only give it a C. It was a high C again. But yeah, exactly. I mean, a high C. This was really good. There was a lot of good storytelling in the match. I agree with you. I was a bit shocked by the beatdown, but I was sitting there the whole time when they were doing the beatdown, going, "Go on, come on."
Carter.
That's exactly where I was.
When a Carter shows up, you guys are not going to be able to talk on this podcast. I am going to play his entire theme tune and talk about.
No, you can't, because we'll get a copyright strike.
I'll do this. Mo probably doesn't even know who fucking Okada is.
I actually do. There you go. That's right. How much of an influence he is outside. I actually even know who he is.
I'll, in that case, as we're all happy with this match and we're giving it a high C, I will now regale you with the tale of why Okada will come out to save what looks like a comedy jobber faction in AEW. And the best friends aren't. They're actually solidly upper mid-card to lower upper card. Especially when Trent's with them. But when Trent and Chucky T were in Japan, they were in Chaos. And Okada is like Chucky T, Rocky, and Trent's best friend. They went out all together all the time. They go on boat trips together. There was a storyline where Chucky T basically bullied Okada into being his tag team partner and made him do promos about how great they are. He steals their clothes and dresses up as them as the Ring. So when he comes, like everybody's always like, "Oh, Okada versus Kenny or Okada versus Big Name." He has to come out and save the basically meta joke indie shitters because he's actually their best friend.
That's amazing.
Wrestling history with Matt Strange.
And
I won't pop as much as if not
until that happens. Then
I'm still waiting for Naito mostly, who is Andrade, one of Andrade's old best friends. Right there, I'll be nerding today about wrestling history. Anyway, letter maths. We got four B's. Sorry, 2 B's, a bunch of C's. Some of them are high. It's a high C show. Weirdly, even with all of the better storyline and even with the fact that Dynamite is a better show than Rampage because they actually tell us what's going on and give us some promos. Rampage was the better show this week. The matches were cleaner, less clusterfucky. Storylines, although most of the story was told in the ring, seemed to be a bit more concise. If it wasn't for the MJF comedy moments, it would have fucking dominated Dynamite. It's a high C for Rampage, an average C for Dynamite. It's a C for wrestling. 3 stars from David Meltzer. An average flavour. The name Brian. It's okay. We had an alright week. say that I hate the name Brian. It's my middle name. Fuck that name. But I do accept the fact it's an average name. I'm going to shit on the name Matthew now, am I?
So there you have it. That's our show for the week. What did you think? Please feel free to let us know. You can get in touch with us at wrestleopinionated@gmail.com, WrestleOP on Facebook, WrestleOP1 on Twitter. Time to close out the show. I would like to thank Anchor.fm for hosting the podcast. You can find us on Anchor.fm, Spotify, or YouTube as Wrestleopinionated. Over to you, Mr. Mo.
Oh, tell them to like, share, and subscribe, Mo.
Yeah, do that thing that everyone always says: like, share,
Hit the
and
little bell.
subscribe. Ding ding, mother huggers, or something. I don't know.
Tell your heart friends to listen more.
Friends?
Whoa. Guilt them into listening to us.
Your LARP associates.
Yeah, I will add even more nerd to the nerd. This nerd soup. Cheers for having us, lads. Genuinely enjoyed watching it and chatting with you guys. I look forward to doing it again. My major takeaway from this is I think Matthew is a basic bitch name, even lower than Brian.
Oh, I spell it with 2 T's the cool way. You leave me alone. How dare you? Yeah, cheers for listening. Like, share, subscribe, bell, blah, 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 blah. Mo said it all. That's his job now. Thanks for listening. I love you very much. Back to you, Morg.
All that's left to be said is goodbye and good night.